the weekend. It's Mailbag. I am joined by Jack Carlisle, who's on for his third win on the spin. Adam Asterisk Jones, who's on for his second win on the spin.
Disgrace. An absolute disgrace that was, by the way. I'm fuming about
that. I tell you what, mate, it was a win in some circumstances. And no, I don't know, it's...
The host agreed to the circumstances before the last question. It wasn't my fault that he picked me, and he's got the same surname as me.
There's nothing in that at all, no.
No.
I mean, Lord has threatened to volley me all the way up and down Hoylake if I don't do something about it, so I had to. I think. So
you just responded to peer pressure then and bullying? Is what I mean here.
I bow to peer pressure and bullying. I'm an absolute shithouse. And Ryan Reynolds, who's also a former winner, so this could be like a champion showdown today. In this one, I asked 3 questions loosely related to a news story this week. If you know the answer to what story that is, just shout the name of a random Everton player. If you get it right, you get a point. So we will kick off with smallest crowd you've ever seen at a match or a gig.
Lassina Traore.
Behind him at a gig.
That's surely about the return of the crowds to some grounds.
Yes, it is. That's the right answer. Our first one was speaking to Adam just before we came on. I think our first one's going to be Chelsea.
Mm.
Adam, have you got a season ticket?
A season ticket? No.
Yeah. No, I was going to say you won't need one, will you?
No, I just
probably the next 40 years.
I just blacked my way into free. Yeah.
Jack, are you going to put yourself in the ballot then? I think I will.
It was nice to have the point of principle before they said we can go back. And now it's like, I can go to the game again. Yeah, come on, man. As
soon as I heard it, I was like, I'll be shit this. I don't want to
I think, to be honest, like, at the back of my mind, there was always like, it's not going to be the same. But then I'm not enjoying watching it on the telly as it is. Like, I've realised something that, like, do you know when we could all go, and then even when we were on telly, like, it would be the away games, and you're talking like maybe, what do you reckon, we're on 6 times a season? Say, I wouldn't like to guess, but say 6. And like, even them games, like, it's just not the same. I don't really like watching it in a pub, and even watching it at home, I find it like it's pretty mind-numbing. I don't know what you guys think, but it isn't the same.
No, it's not. No, I agree. Fine, that's all you've got, though, isn't it, mate? Also, ridiculous hours of the day.
Exactly right. Although the good thing is, the next round of fixtures are amazing for Australian fans. We've got some really good start times, which means we're going to play like shit because every time that the fixtures work out good for us, we lose. So, sorry, we're about to go on about a 6-game losing run.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do is to get up in the middle of the night just to watch us play utter tripe.
Have we got many Sunday games in December? Because like our record on, I couldn't believe we got that result last week with, do you know, our record on a Sunday? Like, somebody posted it in one of the groups I was in. It's absolutely abysmal, isn't it?
Yeah, I pulled some stats together for what's the score, and I think it was something like we played 24 times on a Sunday, and we've lost something like 13 once. I think we've won 4 or something, and that was, do you remember that mad run at the end of Marco Silva's first season, where we beat Arsenal, we beat Chelsea, we beat United.
Yeah.
They were all Sunday games.
They all count.
Yeah, so they've like sort of massively added to our win ratio on Sundays, but it's appalling. And conversely, our 12:30 Saturday games, we played 6, won 5, drawn 1, and then lost to United. You made the right monkey out of me, that one, anyway. I had all these stats ready. Look, we're going to beat United because the stats. And then Ryan, anyway, you got the answer right. It was the return of fans to Premier League grounds. What's the smallest crowd you've ever seen at a match or a gig, though?
A gig, it was 3 people. It was myself and 2 others. It was probably the most awkward thing I've ever been involved in because, like, where do you stand? Do you stand at the front and look supportive? Do you, like, lurk at the back near the bar and just act cool? Like, standing in the middle, it just sounds bizarre. Like, you just can't be between the front and the back. So I just lurked out the back near the bar. Obviously, no line for a beer, which was always handy, but just enough darkness so he couldn't see me lurking.
You've always got the thing there. It's like, well, I'm just here for a beer, and this band happens to be on, so you know. It's
and then it's like, do you clap or cheer after a song, or do you just stand there? Like, it was so awkward. Never again.
How many were in the band?
1. It was an acoustic set.
Okay.
A bloke from a quite popular Australian band was doing an acoustic tour, and it was like a Wednesday night in the middle of winter, and obviously no one wanted to come. And I was like, I was quite a big fan of them, so I thought, I'll stuff it. I'll go along and have a couple of midweek beers. And basically, I was waiting for other people to rock up, and a couple turned up maybe like a minute before it started, and that was it.
Oh my God! So you were the only person in there with a minute to go?
Yeah, I was just literally just standing there, and I was like, oh, I hope at least someone else turns up. But
Crazy.
The bonus was I had a beer with him after the gig anyway, and we talked about how awkward the whole thing was. So
basically your own little intimate gig. That's all right. That's a good. Adam, about you?
Well, unfortunately, I've been to a lot of matches without many crowds there recently. But I think I'll probably have to go for one that was pre-pandemic. I went to an Everton under-23s game. I can't even remember what season it was now. It was back when we still had Umanias playing for us, because we played against Crewe in Crewe. So me and Phil travelled down to Crewe. We were shocked that Umanias started the game. He then went on to, I think he scored inside the first 5 minutes. The weirdest deflected effort over the keeper that you've ever seen in your life. It was picture an Umanias goal, and that was it. You couldn't have scripted it. But Crewe Stadium it's not like the smallest stadium in the world. It's all right. But it was me, Phil, and 2 other journalists were there, and all that was it. And we were right at the back of the big stand as well. So yet again, Umanias scored this mad deflected effort. A £13.5 million striker scoring a mad deflected effort for Everton, and all you could hear was David Unsworth going, "Yes, Umar!" That was the only sound that could be heard across Crewe. So yeah, I'll probably have to go for that one.
Yeah, heavy that. It's a weird place to get to as well, Crewe, isn't it? It's not that far, but seems miles.
Yeah.
It seems like it's ages away for some reason.
Yeah. Jack?
I'd say, mine is also an Everton under-23s game. When I was at uni in Sheffield, I used to go to Bramall Lane and Hillsborough quite a lot, depending on where I was doing the offers at £10 tickets. And Everton under-23s played Sheffield United under-23, so it would have been about 2011. And Everton under-23s won. I'm not sure if it was in the first knock-ins of the Checker trade. It was in some form of trophy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I reckon there must have been about 30 of us there. And the only reason I remember the game is because Courtney Duffus scored an absolute worldie, and I'm pretty sure Harry Maguire was playing at the time, not because he was under 23, but because he was coming back from injury. And that was all I remember from the game. It was absolutely horrendous, but you just remember it for one really, really good goal. And about 25 of us there. And there was one of them where no one's really supporting either team. People are there because the tickets, I think, were £3 with it being under 23s game. So I'd say that.
Desperate for your intake of toffees in Sheffield there, weren't you?
Exactly that, yeah.
I'll have to give it to Ryan just for the sheer awkwardness, I think, of that one-man band with one man in Jordans. Right, next question. Who's the GOAT?
Cody Arnold.
Dantal.
Dantal is the right answer. Who was it?
Cody Arnold.
I've never heard of him.
Cody Arnold and Anton Petlin, the 2 Americans that we signed, late Moyes, never played a minute.
Oh my God, I've not even heard of them. They're not even.
I think they got him straight out of uni.
Right, that's
Petlin.
I reckon you're getting a point for that anyway, because that's just. Bizarre, Everton playing all squad. Then what's the story?
Maradona passing away.
Yeah, it was unbelievable when it broke, wasn't it? I think Matt. First I saw Matt put something in the group chat, and it was Jesus, couldn't believe it, but it was kind of coming for years, wasn't it?
Yeah, when I seen the tweet, it was because when these stories break, it's always, if you ever notice, it'll be an account that makes you think, is that real or not? But obviously somebody's got to break it, and then it's waiting, and then it's people will be tweeting as X has tweeted, but still waiting for confirmation, and then it's suddenly become apparent. But the one thing that I couldn't believe, I thought he was older than 60. I don't know why, but when you thought he's only 60, and it's not that he particularly looked older than 60, but in my head you have people of that era, I just always assume are older than they are.
Yeah, I mean, he has packed like twice as much life into those 60 years, hasn't he? To be honest.
Yeah.
What a 60 years. Yeah.
I think someone put, I'd sooner live one day as Diego Maradona than 60 years as Peter Shilton, which is, I think that's fair enough, isn't it? Go ahead then, Jack. Who's the GOAT? This can be in anything, by the way. It doesn't have to be football. Who's just the best?
I'd say for me personally, I struggle to look past Cruyff. I think pretty much for everything he done with a sense of style. He was the reason, sort of, obviously well before my time, but everything that you read and everything that you see, everything like that I loved sort of growing up while watching the Dutch national team, and why I started like watching like Ajax back in the day was because of everything you'd sort of knew about Cruyff. And I just think as somebody to be sort of that influential with what he done with Barcelona, with how good he obviously was as a footballer, and just the whole maverick nature of him, I struggle to look past somebody. And the reason that it puts him ahead of Pelé for me is he doesn't talk about goals that didn't count.
Scored 3,000 goals in the Brazilian second division.
Like, they don't count if they were at Asheville, do they? Like, I'm not
really, no.
at all.
I think the thing with Cruyff, the best thing with Cruyff is his top bitter at the end of his career when he joined Feyenoord and won the league.
Oh.
That's such a good story, that.
And also, like, his little spell in the MLS as well.
Yeah. And his ghost goal for Barcelona.
Oh.
Have you seen that, where it's like it's drifting in at the far post and he sort of jumps horizontal? He's literally horizontal.
Level.
All that volleys are in. It's unbelievable. Yeah, that is a shout, that. Ryan?
Colonel Sanders. Please. On the way home after a belly full of beers, there's nothing better than fried chicken. It's Colonel Sanders. He is the best.
Do you know what? That is the most unexpected shout, but I am having that, definitely. Anyone who can create chicken gravy that good. Adam?
Here's me going for a football answer as well. Lionel Messi. Nobody's ever beaten Messi. I've never seen. I've been lucky enough to watch him in the flesh twice, and I've never seen somebody take the mick on a football pitch more than he can. Like, I'm loving this season as well. Like, just Messi, you can't be asked. Like, there was that clip a few weeks ago where like whoever they were playing had the ball and the player run like directly like 2 yards in front of him. All he needed to do was like put a tiny bit of a jog on and stick his foot out, and he would have tackled him. And he just watched the player just like run straight past him. He's just absolutely not arsed with being a Barcelona player anymore. And still, he can just like get the ball, beat 5 players, score, and then just go, yeah, and what? Like,
there's probably something more in that, isn't there? The fact that he's arsed, but he just turns it on when he wants now.
Exactly, that kind of talent is just unreal. I've never seen a player like it, and he's just the perfect mix of brilliant footballer and just snide. I love the amount of people that hate him as much as the people that love him as well. Like, that's perfect for me. All encompassed in one, snidery and world class. He's nearly on the level of Stephen Naismith for that.
I was thinking before, actually, when you said about Umar, it's absolutely devastating that we sold Naismith for 8 and signed him for 13.
Ridiculous.
Woody Martinez. Yeah, and also in Messi's corner as well, he obviously hates Ronald Koeman.
Yeah.
He's part of the club. Everyone gets a point in that one because they were all boys. Right, last one on hot topics. Oh, sorry, just quickly on the smallest crowd you've ever been at. Robert Wood said 14 at West Ham, which is a great show. For anyone who doesn't know the story, it's referencing the Reds taking 14 to Upton Park for a midweek in 1975. I've on this before, and the Echo reported these possible reasons. There's often been a debate about why this happened. Some blame it being a midweek game. Others talk about it being a protest. Of course it was, lads, against Hal Street and Bill Shankly. And others claim that the fans were intimidated by the hooligans of West Ham United. So I'm just going to say that the Reds are shit houses and that's why you didn't go down. Alan Creevy said as well, the smallest gig on the middle one. That's the question. He did a gig in 1994 at the Hallamshire Hotel in Sheffield. Do you know that, Jack?
I do, yeah. Off Manchester Road, yeah.
I said it was literally attended by 3 people and a dog. He was in the band as well at this point. There was 4 in the band. So there was actually 4 people on stage and in the crowd. And then he put a poster up of another gig he did there. He said he went back 6 months later and it was packed out. But the band supporting him, his band were called Hellfire Sermons, and the band who was supporting his band on the bill were billed as Sheffield Noise Pop Heartthrobs, which I need to know more about. So that's some sort of genre I need to get into it.
Sheffield Noise Pop Heartthrobs.
Yeah, and they were called Dead Squid.
Oh, I thought that was the name of the band.
No, that's what they were billed as. So Sheffield Noise Pop is a thing, and these are just a massive gang of hacks, apparently. Right, final question anyway. What's the best donut?
I half know what this is. I've seen like a screenshot of a news article of like, does this involve like some sort of police officer in Tesco somewhere?
It is the right answer. Can you put a random effort?
Did you get a point for that?
What?
Did you get a point for that?
Well, you didn't say anything, did you?
A police officer something.
No, well, he got the copper and he got Tesco, so that's the crux of the story. He got sacked after paying 7p for 12 Krispy Kreme donuts at Scantville. He attached a 7p barcode sticker for loose carrots to a box of donuts while on duty.
Had to be donuts as well.
Had to be donuts. Get on Chief Wiggum there.
What a man.
So, Adam, you get the point for that. Give us a random Everton player.
Anthony Gardner.
Anthony Gardner. Was he a one appearance wonder?
Probably.
I don't think he played.
Oh, did he not? Oh, just on the bench.
He might not have. Yeah.
That was Leighton Moyes, wasn't it?
Good signing, though.
Yeah. What it was like, that's what it was all about. Like Fabian Delph, leadership in the dressing room. What's the best donut?
I went to Munich a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure this will count as a donut. It was called a Schoko-Krapfen, and it was essentially just this. It was a donut, and I thought it just had like a chocolate center. So I was like, it was breakfast, so I was getting it at like 9:30 in the morning. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I'll have a donut for breakfast. But I thought it was just a chocolate filling, and it ended up being a Nutella filling. So I got literally 2 of them a day. It was probably one of the nicest things I've ever eaten in my life. And I'm planning to go back to Munich just to get more Schoko-Krapfen, to be honest.
Germany's the best thing ever, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What was it? Choco? Because this is going in the lineup. There's Choco what?
Schoko-Krapfen. I'll send you the spelling of it in a minute.
Yeah, I might spell it now. It wouldn't even try. What's the best donut, mate?
I'm a basic bitch when it comes to donuts. Give me one filled with jam, a hot jam donut. They sell them after the footy down here, and they're normally piping hot, and you can just grab a bag full of them on the way home. That'll do me.
I'll be into that, walking down to the train station.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Like post-match jam donut.
Yeah,
that'd be well into that.
They're set up in like this cool little truck thing. They're outside of every ground, and they just top off your team wins, you get a hot jam donut or a bag of them on the way home. 6 for $6. Catch you later. I'm done.
I'm banging into that. So is that like a thing, this donut thing at the ground?
Yeah. Hot jam donuts at the ground after the footy. Done.
Right, I'm getting a Kickstarter going soon.
It's un-Australian not to have on.
Game.
Jack, what's yours?
I'm not averse to do you know the van by St John's, the one that you can smell it before you see it. Like, yeah, I wouldn't get anything else from there, but like the 7 donuts for like £2, and they're like covered in like hot sugar. I'm a massive fan of that. But in terms of ones that I've had abroad, in Peter Pan Bakery in Brooklyn, when I went a couple of years ago, my girlfriend got an apple pie donut, and it was absolutely out of this world. Apparently, it looked amazing. I'm not a big fan of apple pies, but that's the best one by proxy somebody's had. But outside of that, I'm a massive fan of the well, I'm not sure what it's called, the St John's truck. Is it a truck? You know the one I mean?
I know the one you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
The green one.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
Yeah, you used to have them at New Brighton. The fair at New Brighton used to have one of them, and it used to
Got a
just
bit more
stink
upmarket
of
now.
donuts.
That's the thing, isn't it?
What's that?
More upmarket, you're right.
Yeah. I think we'll have to give it to Adam for his Choco Krafen, whatever it's called. Sorry if I offended any German listeners with my pronunciation. That's the end of Hot Topics. Everyone's on 3 points. Imagine that.
Amazing.
It's mad how these things work out. So now it's Ask Us Anything. First question from Foxy. In light of Dean's rip injury, should we re-sign Leighton, and for how long? I've been hearing this morning that there's rumours that he's signing a short-term deal, but we'll see. Adam, what do you reckon? Should we?
No, probably not. Like, I'll give the serious answer. Probably not. One, because we can't even register him until January anyway. So I think it's kind of useless. And two, it's just going to stand in the way of Nkunku. I just think just give him a shout. Have Leighton Baines coach him through. Imagine having Leighton Baines as just like your personal coach. Like when you're breaking into the Everton team, what more could Niels and Nkunku possibly want? I'd rather just have that instead. And if Leighton Baines isn't playing, then he can just be like the ice cream man and just keep going to that. Keep going to that. Was it outside Fulham? Yeah. He could just keep being the man who goes back and forth between them. So yeah, I probably wouldn't, if I'm honest.
That's got to be one of the most iconic Everton images ever, that, hasn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
Jack, would you re-sign Baines?
No, I would say that. No, with Adam saying about being a coach, all I could think was life coach, and then all I could think of was the David Brent get the guitar. I've seen that doing the rounds now as well. No, I've got to say I want to see more of Nkunku. As good and sort of just it being Leighton Baines for me. Like, there's no reason saying this now on the eve of a game, but there's no reason not to give him as many minutes as we can. That's why we've signed him. I don't think he's looked out of place in any of the minutes he's had this season. And I think if we're going to be going forward with this wing-back system, I think the added pace he brings can only be a good thing. So, yeah, serious answer nonetheless. I think give all the minutes to Nkunku. Just not Delph at left-back.
I'm coming to that next. Ryan?
No, I'm the same. No thanks from me either. I think this might be doomsdaying a little bit, but if Lucas Dean does eventually leave, we've got to know whether Niels can play or not. So if he's going to be the heir apparent, then at least we've got 8 weeks to look at him now, and then future-proof. I think we need to see him play. But I would re-sign Baines if Fabian Delph is going to be left back.
That's a fair shout, actually. Anything but Delph.
We've
got that 16-year-old kid as well, haven't we?
Yeah, Thierry Small.
Hasn't he gone to Bayern yet?
Not yet, no.
He's still, yeah.
Yeah, but I can't say he's keeping hold of him. It's like, how many left backs do we need? But obviously he's got to be one and we won't have him. Yeah, everyone gets a point because everyone said the right answer, which is probably not. As much as we love him, be a bit of a retrograde step, wouldn't it? Adam, this one's just for you. When will the Echo put out a story saying that Carlo was happy with Delph as left back or left wing back in Dean's absence, and Niels would be focused on winning the under-23s EPL? Can you give us a scoop?
I'll get on it right now. After we finish this Zoom call, I'm getting straight on it. Pre-match read.
You're getting the scoop on that, lads. Love it. Okay, Riley James has asked. We'll come to you first on this one, Jack. Lockdown dogs are all the rage. What's the best cross breed, and whatever happened to mongrels? Oh, Ryan, I want you to say mongrels as well. Bloody mongrels. Stuart. Okay.
I'll be honest, my knowledge of dogs is very small. All I would say is get yourself a dachshund or a miniature dachshund, and that's all you need. I have got absolutely no idea what's happened to mongrels. Is that like the white dog poo thing? I really don't know.
So round yours as a kid, there certainly was round mine. There was always dogs with curly tails. Just straight up curly tails. I just remember that.
No, all I do remember was there was a dog called Dylan, and I don't know whose dog it was, but basically, like, to walk to our school, it was like a 10-minute walk from where we live, and you had to walk across like a small park to get there. And I don't know everyone knew the dog was called Dylan, but it was always just off a lead, and seemingly there was never like an owner. And you know, like, them stories of, oh, that's a mad dog, and like it would just run at kids, and it was like, I don't know why, and I don't know sort of who, I don't know if it was named Dylan and it had escaped, or if like it was just like a myth and it was, oh, that dog's name is Dylan. But that was like the only wild dog or mongrel that I can remember seeing, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, I can imagine. There was a Rottweiler who used to live at the bottom of my nan's road, and you had to walk past it to get to the shop, and it would jump up at the fence, nearly make it over every time. Horrible thing. Ryan, bloody mongrels, what's happened to them?
Bloody mongrels, who knows? Actually, speaking of COVID animals, right? So we've just had 6 months of lockdown, and I was talking to someone the other day who hangs around with a lot of vets, and they're saying that in Victoria, where I am at the moment, they're going to have a generation of dogs with anxiety because their key developmental phase, they've been spent locked up inside and actually haven't gone out and socialised with other dogs. So now people are like out of lockdown and they're taking their dogs for a walk, and their dogs have got like killer anxiety, like they don't want to leave the house, and you kind of have to drag them.
Oh man, that's heavy. It's going to be a generation of Dylans.
Yeah. We've got a generation of bloody mongrels coming through, mate.
Best crossbreed?
Is there any pure breed dogs anymore? Like, I feel like every dog that anybody's ever got that I know is like it's a something crossed with something. I don't think I've ever met a pure breed dog, if I'm honest. My nan used to have a Jack Russell crossed with a Patterdale, which I'd never heard of until she got it. But that was probably the most hyperactive dog I have ever met in my life. And that was when when I was a kid, I used to be scared of dogs. So this dog, like, imagine me, like, as a kid, I'm not the tallest now, but like I was even shorter then. But I used to get bullied by this Jack Russell. Like, it was the size of a Jack Russell. And I've got no shame in admitting that this dog absolutely scared the life out of me and just ripped the piss out of me every single time I went round to my nan's. So, yeah, that's gonna be the best crossbreed for me.
You're unnecessarily hyperactive, aren't you? Jack Russell's really no.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not scared of dogs anymore, thanks to that dog. So there we go.
Broke you in.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a point for that as well. I had answers. You're all on 5. Laura's asked. Hang on. Oh yeah, Laura's asked, what's the best comfort food? Jack?
Cheese on toast.
Worcester sauce or just?
Yeah, while it's cooking, just timeless. It's got to be with thick white bread and the cheese. I like all sorts. It just depends on what mood I'm in.
It's coming up to cheese season as well, isn't it?
Camembert.
Cheese and meat season, love it. Ryan?
Nachos for me. Cheesy nachos, guacamole. Yeah, that'll do me.
That's a shout. That once you've got in after the game with your jam donuts.
Yeah.
Very good day at Bowen.
Freshly pressed Bowen slacks.
Nothing's beating a good fish finger butty for me. You get some nice bread as well. Get some nice like crusty bread. Loads of butter, fish finger butties. No, nothing's beating that.
You've ruined it for me with the butter there. I'm butter reverse. Which annoys me because I can't have buttered toast. Which always looks amazing, but I can't have it. Don't like it.
So what do you put on your toast?
I just don't have toast.
Oh, okay. fair play. Didn't realise that was an option.
Fish fingers for me, though.
Jack, I think your cheese on toast going to have to do it. That's what I have on toast, cheese.
There you go.
I think cheese on toast takes that for me. Laura's also asked, I'd like a discussion around which caterpillar cake is best, because I recently discovered that loads of shops do their own versions. She says there is a correct answer. Paddy Boylan concurs. This says there is only one proper caterpillar cake. All the others are fakes. Next. So yeah, Laura did send me the research she's done into this, and I'm gonna leave that for her to sort of tell everyone when she comes on, because it is quality research. She has done the stuff on this. So just in one word, what is the original caterpillar cake? What shops are from? Jack?
Again, this might give away my my Wallacey roots here. I thought it was M&S, and I thought it was Colin.
Adam?
See, I had this discussion with Laura last week, and I just think they're all the same, to be honest. Like, a caterpillar cake. Caterpillar cake's a caterpillar cake to me. It's a chocolate cake, I'm going to eat it. But for the purposes of this, I'll say Tesco.
Tesco. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a tiny little insight into the research she did. Tesco's caterpillar cake is called Curly. And apparently... Curly.
And caterpillar's known for being straight.
Yeah.
well, pretty much. I don't know why you call it.
Yeah.
And apparently it's got a face made of icing, which she's not a fan of. Ryan,
is that the research?
This seems very subjective to be researched, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't like icing, so that doesn't.
Yeah.
No, I think she's just averse to the fact that the face is made of ice. I think she's saying it should be made of chocolate, like a solid chocolate.
I'm not offended by the name.
Curly. Yeah.
I wish I'd have known that before I picked Tesco, to be honest.
You can change if you want.
Well, I'm going to have to stick with my answer.
Sticking with Tesco.
I'm principled.
Ryan, one of those answers is correct, so pick wisely.
Jeez. I've got to back in the trusted journalist in Adam Jones, don't I? The source of all knowledge.
Yes.
That's the wrong horse, mate. The right
answer it was completely wrong. never trust me again.
We are actually on the last Ask Us Anything question here. At Hall17 AFC 28, what's the best or worst thing a manager has ever said or done to you or for you? So you can pick any combination of that. Ryan, I'll come to you first on this.
I had a under 14s footy coach call me fat, and then basically spent the whole summer running laps. So to be fair, he had a point. I still do. I had tits in my legs rubbed when I run. So, whatever. True there.
Was this like when Phil Jagielka came back to pre-season training one time? Or was it Ashley Williams? Ashley Williams, wasn't it?
Ashley Williams.
The unit.
Oh.
That was you, age 14. Adam?
I'm going to...
Some terrible stories being in journalism.
Well, I'm going to use the term manager loosely, and I'm going to describe an Everton manager. Our favourite Everton manager, Sam Allardyce. He was not nice to me. I have to say that much. And when we drew 1-1 away to Swansea. I can't even remember who scored for us, to be honest. I think Jordan Ayew scored for them, if I remember rightly. But genuinely can't remember who scored for us. But I remember the big point of it before the game was that Wayne Rooney had been dropped for whoever we played the game before, and he was back in the lineup for the Swansea game. And it was quite surprising to see him in the lineup. And he played like 70, 80 odd minutes. He was all right, and then went off. So in the post-match press conference, what turned out to be stupidly, asked Allardyce how he thought Wayne Rooney played. I thought it was just like a standard throwaway question, How do you think he played? He didn't start the last game. How do you think he played? And he took this really badly for some reason. So he just went, "Oh, how do you think he played?" And I was like, "Well, people aren't really bothered about what I think. They're probably bothered about what you think." And he was like, "Well, don't you get paid to have an opinion on this?" And I was like, "Well, don't you get paid to pick them?" So I'm asking why you picked them. And this went back and forth for about a minute, and then he just gave me a general answer about Swansea being a tough place to come. When they ended up getting relegated, I think, so it wasn't really that tough a place to come. But so apparently, the other journalists were saying, "Oh, he's just picking on you because you can see you're young and you might be an easy target." And I was just like, whatever. But yeah, that was one of my many incidents with Sam Allardyce over his few months spell.
I can imagine he is that sort of fella, though, isn't he? That if he does young Journo, he'll absolutely terror him.
Yeah, and he did.
Great sort of guy. Jack?
Probably when I was playing for one of my teams, probably when I think it would have been 14, 15, and got told to be playing right back because our right back was injured. And the team we were playing weren't great, but they had the quickest, like arguably at the time, like the quickest lad in our school playing left wing. And within the first probably 2 or 3 minutes, run out to match him as the ball was bouncing towards him. And he saw me coming and he flicked it over my head and he'd gone. And like, you know, when you know you're not going to catch people and you can hear people like laughing on the side watching and you're like, I've got to try and catch up to him. And all I could think of is what it must be like. Like, do you know when Richarlison did it to Shane Duffy at Brighton a couple of years ago? And then people were tweeting him laughing and he basically said, he is quick, you know, and he took it really well. And that was like within the first 5 minutes. And like, you shouldn't be knackered, but you were like, you've got to show your manager you're trying. And it was just one of them situations where like, whatever you do, you can't win. Because it's like, you're fouling, you're going to get sent off. You try and catch him without tackling him. People are laughing because of how slow you are. Or you don't run to catch up with him and your manager has a go at you. So I sort of got caught between and sort of just done like a Schneidlin jog, you know, like sort of looking like you're going to catch him. And that was like within the first 5 minutes. We got beat, I think, 4-1, 4-2. But it's one of them games where like you don't get a kick and every time you try and do something, it goes wrong. So I just started every time I get it, just hit it down the line. It was probably, you know, when you have a bad 90 minutes, it was without a doubt the worst. And it was all started with about 2 minutes in. And it makes me think, you know, to get to that like professional level or even to play at like a high, like local level, your concentration and the mentality must be such a massive part of it. Because I was losing my head, like people are laughing and you're like, right, shut up. And you can't do anything. So I'd say, yeah, getting put at right back. Never again.
Oh, that's horrible. Two absolutely terrible stories of childhood footy there. But I think to Adam just for getting tethered by Allardyce, which cannot have been pretty at all.
Well, this is the first time that it's worked in my favour, to be honest.
Did you dread going into press conferences? Was it one?
No.
It was like, no, it's not asked.
No, like it was one of them where like as soon as it had happened after that Swansea game, I was a bit like, I can't believe that's just happened. But then after that, it did become just like a bit of a funny story. And like whenever he didn't have many press conferences after that, to be honest. I think that game was in April. So I think like we locked eyes in a few press conferences after that, and we knew we had a shared history.
Straight outside the hot box.
You should have made a bet with him, mate. I bet I'll be around here longer than you.
That would have been quids in. Would have been amazing. Just minced as well.
It was picturing you and Allardyce locking eyes and snarling. Amazing. I love that. That's the end of Ask Us Anything, and the scores are Adam 6, Jack 7, and Ryan 5. All to play for going into true or false, which is everyone's favourite round, isn't it? So in this one, give us a T if you think it's true. False is that one. I made that up, did she? So here we go, true or false. The reason the taste of artificial banana flavouring and artificial banana flavoured products doesn't taste like bananas is because it was based on a type of banana that was wiped out by a plague in the 1950s. True or false? Mine says false. True. True. Okay, next one. So Adam said true, Jack said true, Ryan said false. Next one. Australia has over 15,000 beaches. You could visit a new beach every day for over 32 years. True or false? Ryan, true. Everyone says true. Last one. The national animal of Scotland is the unicorn. True or false? Ryan says false.
I've got to go for it.
False, and Adam says true. Right, the answers are The first one about bananas, that is actually true. So,
Wow.
and Jack got a point. Australia, it's false, that one. It has over 10,000 beaches.
Oh no.
Visiting you one every day for just 27
I only
years.
base my answer off Ryan's as well.
I did as well.
We all thought that would be the one he'd get.
That was payback for Tesco.
The national animal of Scotland is the unicorn.
Yes.
Apparently, James II wholeheartedly embraced the legend, and the unicorn became a symbol of purity and power the Scottish kings and nobility identified with in the 15th century. Over time, this led to the unicorn becoming officially recognised as Scotland's national animal, which, there does seem to be something in that, doesn't there? So that, oh my God, you wouldn't believe this. Ryan, you finished on 5. So sorry. But it was a solid effort. Adam and Jack, you finished on 8 each. It's a tiebreaker. What a win this one, right? So I've actually lined up a question here, and it's on this day.
Jesus Christ!
Just to rip off Matt Jones's Blue Room breakfast. So on this day, 28th of November, 1931, Toffees.
Is that on a book?
He's
The Toffees beat Leicester City at Goodison Park. Right, what was the score?
Was it just like a closest wins, is it, sort of thing, or
Closest
do
score.
we have to get it right?
No.
What year?
1931. 28th of November, 1931.
Good year.
6-3.
6-3, Adam. Jack, what do you reckon?
5-1.
5-1. Shit, I haven't thought how I'm going to do this, actually.
Yeah.
The right answer is 9-2. So you're both very close. I never thought I would do this. The right answer is 9-2.
Do you want us to guess the scores?
I don't know the score. It's not in the book. So Adam got closer with the goals, but Jack got the margin closer, which makes Ryan this week's winner.